guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you a bit of demo and my review on the Mud Cosmetics liquid foundation. Now, if you follow me on my stories, then you already know that a couple of weeks back, maybe like a month and a half back, I went to the Mud Cosmetics Academy in Mumbai. They had a small workshop and I got introduced to a couple of their products, and they also gave me a small goodie bag with this foundation, an eyeliner, a lip liner, and I think a lipstick as well. This is not a sponsored video. I did show a little bit of demo of this on the stories, and a lot of you asked me to review this, and I never really came around to filming this video. Also, this is the second time I'm filming this video. The first time when I filmed it, it was a disaster. I think my lighting was so off that I wasn't liking the foundation on my face at all. I felt like it was one tone whiter, not even lighter. I felt like it was definitely looking white on my face, and I wasn't really liking that. So whatever I was trying to convey about the foundation in the video was not really going well with what the camera was making it look like. Today, my lighting seems pretty alright, and I think my foundation is also looking pretty okay on my skin. And yeah, I think I'll just get to the demo bit. I'll show you guys how this works on my skin and how it is while applying it. And once we are done with that, I'll come back and I'll tell you guys what I think about the product. So let's get started. So I've already prepped and primed my face. First, I started with my morning skincare routine, my moisturizer, my sunscreen, and all of that, which you guys are already aware about. Once I got done with that, I used my Makeup Forever HD primer. My face is now fully primed, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this liquid foundation. This is in the shade M2, and at the Academy, they insisted that I use the shade M3, but I felt like M2 goes well with my skin tone more as compared to M3. M3 was slightly darker, I would say, and M2 is slightly lighter, kinda. But I feel like you can always warm this up using, you know, a bronzer or blush and all of that. Hopefully, I'm assuming that this will go well with my skin tone. This definitely has a particular smell to it for sure. It feels like, you know, there is that one fragrance which I'm not able to point out, but it's definitely there. And it's not disturbing, but it's slightly like a powdery sort of a smell, which I'm not really very fond of, but I think it's blending really well into the skin. It actually doesn't need a lot of work. Let's take some more. It's pretty much the same consistency as my MAC Studio Fix, I would say. Definitely not very runny. It's just the right kind of consistency that I would look for in a foundation for sure. I'm not sure if it's looking slightly brighter, but let's see. The first time I filmed, it just looked a little bit white on my face. But I think right now it's just looking fine. I think it looks fantastic up close. I'm really liking it. It looks really nice and dewy, and I really like that. I'm gonna drag the rest on my neck. A little bit on the ears as well. You don't want your ears to look different. And I've just taken a little bit more on the pointed end of the Beauty Blender, and we're just gonna go ahead with applying the same thing underneath the eye area as well. You guys know that this is how I like to test a foundation. I don't like to use a concealer. I like to use the foundation just by itself, because that is how I use foundation or makeup in my everyday life. I don't wear like a whole layer of foundation, concealer, pressed powder, all of that. I don't do so much. I just use a foundation by itself. So I'm just gonna go the same way. I think it looks really nice. And I'm pretty much done with the entire foundation, you guys. I'm not going to be doing much to my face. I'm definitely going to be going ahead and using a bit of bronzer and a little bit of eyeshadow and mascara and all of that. I'm going to finish the entire look, and I'll come back and I'll tell you what I think about this foundation. But overall, up until now, I am really liking how this looks pretty much skin-like. It's not looking like there's a lot of makeup on top of my skin. At least here in the mirror, I don't feel like that. And when I see the viewfinder as well, it looks pretty much dewy and quite natural, I would say. Moist, it feels a little bit hydrating for sure. But I'm not gonna give you any of my opinions before I'm done with my makeup. I'm just gonna finish off my entire face and then I'll be back with what I think about this foundation. So guys, I'm done with my entire makeup and I feel like this foundation looks pretty much, I mean, I definitely approve it. There are a few things to say about this particular product. Let's first begin with the packaging. Where did I leave it? Okay, so this comes in a steel sort of a packaging. I wouldn't really call it steel, it is plasticky, but it looks a little bit metallic on the outside. It is pretty much easy to travel with for sure. Also, it comes with a pump dispenser, so you're not really touching the foundation, you're not dipping your finger in, you're not doing anything of that sort. You're actually in fact just dispensing it from the pump itself, so there's no bacteria, infection, nothing settling onto the product, which I completely recommend and I highly approve of. The next thing that I want to say is that it definitely looks very natural. Now when I see it in the mirror, even after doing my entire makeup, I feel like it looks really natural. It is pretty much at par with my MAC Studio Fix Liquid Foundation. I love the consistency of this product. I will also compare it for you guys to see how it is as compared to the consistency of the MAC Studio Fix Liquid Foundation. And this is pretty much the same pricing as well. I think it's costing 2,250 rupees if I'm not wrong. I will still insert the cost in the description box down below. Next thing that I really like is the shade M2, pretty much blended in with my skin. The first time when I used it, I think my lighting was not really well done, and maybe that is why my face was looking way too bright as compared to what it is looking like now. I feel like now, even in the viewfinder, my skin on the face and the neck definitely matches. It looks pretty much even and pretty much the same shade, which I am very happy about. Also, it is a medium to full coverage foundation, so you don't really have to, you know, worry about covering your blemishes and all. I have not used a concealer right now underneath my eyes as well. I definitely don't have that concealer highlight going on underneath my eye area for sure, and if you are really good at makeup, you can tell that as well. But in general, on an everyday basis, like I mentioned, I don't do so many steps for my face. So if I have to use just the foundation by itself, even underneath my eye area and on my entire face, just one product by itself, it pretty much does the job. But if you do need a concealer or color correction, definitely go ahead, do that. Next I want to speak about is the texture, the weight, the feel of this foundation. And let us first begin with what it feels like on my skin. It actually feels a little bit moist for sure. It doesn't feel dry, it does not feel matte at all. And as you guys know already, I have dry skin, so any foundation or any skin product or makeup product which is actually hydrating or moisturizing or nourishing for my skin works really well. So once I actually take this out, my skin will not feel dried out, it will not feel, you know, dehydrated. In fact, it's gonna feel well nourished is what I'm trying to say. Also, it doesn't feel tacky, it just feels slightly moist, which I think for people with dry skin, they might really like. Also, if you do have an oily skin, I think this will still be fine for you. It will not be difficult to work with at all. It's not going to make you feel oily or anything, but make sure that you're using a good pressed powder or a compact over it. Today I've not used anything of that sort, and you guys know that, and maybe that is why it is feeling slightly moist. So if you do use a loose powder or if you do use a compact, it will seal your foundation, it will add that powdery feel, and it will eventually mattify it for you. Next I want to speak about is the weight. This is, I would say, not really lightweight, but just a little bit over lightweight. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not really very heavy on your skin. It's not really gonna make you feel like you're wearing product on top of your skin, but it's not exactly lightweight like those runny liquidy foundations. It's not really like that, but it's pretty much medium in weight, I would say. And yeah, I really like how it is overall. Next, what I don't really like about it is that they haven't really mentioned if this has an SPF in it or not. And I like my makeup and my foundation to have SPF in them. My Studio Fix Press Powder has SPF, my Studio Fix Fluid Foundation has SPF. There are a lot of foundations which are my favorite, but they don't have SPF, and that is the only reason I don't like to use certain foundations during the daytime. So I really hope that this has SPF, or if they don't have it, I hope that they you know, sort of make a formula which has SPF in it. Next I want to speak about is blending. Working with this foundation is super easy. You don't have to work too hard. I've tried using this with the brush as well the last time I filmed the video, but today I used it with a regular, not really like a, this is not the actual beauty blender, but I've used it with a similar sponge and it pretty much did the job. It blended in really well. You guys saw how easy it was for me to work this foundation into the skin. It almost looks skin-like, which I have already told you guys. So I think working with this is really super easy. Also, if you do use your fingers to apply a foundation, it's not gonna be too difficult to apply this into your skin. About the lasting of this foundation, I cannot really tell right now, but I'll try and sort of wear this for a couple of hours and I'll let you guys know what I think in the video down below over here, or I'll let you know in the description box as well, or look out for my stories. You guys will get to know over there for sure. So that's pretty much it. Overall, I highly recommend this foundation. This video was not sponsored at all by Mud Cosmetics. I don't think that they even know that I was making this video, and yeah, of course this was given to me by them like I mentioned earlier, but this is not a paid for video at all. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Please let me know if you would want more such videos on my IGTV and I would be more than happy to film for you. And yeah, have a great day and I'll see you super soon in my next one. Also, don't forget to write below what you think about this foundation and what it looks like on my face, and yeah, have a good one. Bye.